Hello.
Hey, Rick, it's Bobby Kennedy.
Well, how are you today?
Very well. How are you doing?
Well, it's just rained 2 inches, and so I'm a little wet.
Well, are you in central Iowa?
I'm in Cedar Rapids, which would be a little bit east central.
Yeah. Um, well, as you might imagine, I'm calling you because is your liaison with the White House and make sure that that you get something that or you think that you can push the libertarian agenda in a way that might have a greater impact.
Well, I assume you're not talking about a cabinet position. Courage to face COVID-19, and that was a great book too. So I really admire that whole thing, but I also admire the fact that I just read the newspapers, so maybe I didn't hear the real story, but it sounded like asked the Democrats to make you an offer, and the Democrats didn't offer much, and you went to Trump and made the same offer, and Trump offered enough, and you shook hands, and as far as I can tell, you delivered on your promise, and it probably worked, right? I mean, I'm not sure we'd have President Trump if it weren't for Bobby Kennedy. So I really admire that. I admire the way you worked it. Let me tell you a little bit about my race, okay? I've run, this is my sixth time I've run in the state of Iowa as a libertarian. Obviously, I've never won, and I'm sure I probably never will in my lifetime win as a libertarian. But I always took my campaign seriously. I was never a paper candidate. And first time I ran against Joni Ernst for U.S. Senate, I actually rode my bicycle 5,000 miles to every single county seat in Iowa. And yeah, no, I was in the best bicycling shape I've ever been in after that summer. Yeah, no, I'm not a real athlete or anything, but I do like to keep fit. But anyway, every time I've run, I've taken it seriously, and I'd have to look back. I believe I've gotten over 2% of the vote every time, and one time for Secretary of Ag, over 3%. And then, of course, in 2022, I ran for governor, and I got 2.37%, and that allowed the Libertarians to be a major party in Iowa. You got to get more than 2%. Unfortunately, they lost it in 2024, and they're going to have to see if they can pick it up this year in 2026. But the way I look at it is this. The two-party system is ruining America, and it's broken, and nobody likes Congress anymore, and that's very sad. I'd like that to be corrected. Convince me that a Republican in Iowa, for Congress, our district is Congress 2, right? Convince me that a Republican in Congress 2 is going to do more to fix the two-party system than a Democrat in Congress 2.
Well, I'm not going to convince you of that. I'm not going to try, and I'm not going to try to defend the two-party system or the Republican Party, for that matter. I mean, from my point of view, the next 2 years is critical for, an agenda that I would like to see. I don't want to be fighting subpoenas for the next 2 years instead of improving America's health. So for me, there's an immediate pragmatic reason for this phone call. And the question for you is not whether a Republican is going to solve any of the problems that you're dealing with, that you're concerned about, or whether you may be able to solve more problems in a different position. And in going in and winning 3 or 4% of an election. So that's just, it's a Rick. I admire what you're doing. I admire your idealism. And, but, ultimately you have to ask yourself the same question I did. Is it more important for me to run as an independent, make a point, or could I make an agreement that puts me in a position where I can make a real difference in people's lives? That's all.
Oh.
There may be something that you want to do in the federal government where you think maybe you can do more for people there than having a symbolic run at getting the Libertarian Party on the ticket next time, which are both admirable goals. So it's a personal issue. If you want to work with us, I will be your advocate. But I'm not saying this is going to fix the country, because it's not. The two-party system is broken. That's why, I ran as an independent. But, at some point I made a pragmatic choice that I'd be more effective doing this than completing my election. So it's the same question for you.
Okay, I completely understand your logic, and believe me, I'm very sympathetic to it. But I'm also just an Iowa boy, and I really have no idea. Like I said, I'm obviously not going to get a cabinet seat. I have absolutely no idea what kind of opportunities in Washington would be available to me. I've spent extremely small amount of time in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Well, I can't go into specifics because, there's legal prohibitions about that. If it's something that you want to work on together, there's other ways that you think you might be effective. Like I said, I will be your advocate.
Does that mean I'd be working directly with you? Not maybe directly, but I'd be working with you.
That could be a possibility.
Because I can tell you, I'm 74. I'm going to be 75 years old, but no one has ever accused me of not being a hard worker, and I don't plan on stopping anytime in the near future. And I'm well educated. I'm a lot of private sector experience. I have no government experience, which, in my personal opinion, would make me more qualified to get into the government, because I don't have government disease. I have private industry.
I made the same argument, and I agree with you.
But I don't know, what the HHS is $2 trillion in spending every year, and I doubt very much. If it were me personally, right, I would go. You know what a Pareto chart is? It's got the biggest stuff on the left and the smallest stuff on the right. The biggest part of the Pareto chart of HHS is obviously Medicare and Medicaid, and everything else is tiny compared with that.
Of course.
I'm a recipient, obviously, of Medicare, and I'd hate to see it taken away from me, but I probably should be at least charged more for it. And my understanding is that Medicaid also is just rife. Medicaid is just rife with fraud, possibly in the neighborhood of $50 to $100 billion a year. To me, that seems like it would be fairly easy to get rid of.
100 billion. Yeah. There's a lot of fraud, and it's a target-rich environment, and we are addressing it like no administration in history. And we're bringing in AI to detect it early, and we are cracking down on it, and we have a very good chance of eliminating most of it.
That would be an enormous savings.
Yeah. We're already saving tens of billions of dollars of fraud we've discovered.
That's a heck of a good start.
Yeah. Anyway, think about it, Rick, and I need to hop off on another phone call.
Okay.
But if it's something that you want to talk about, you and I can talk about specifics.
I've got your number.
Okay. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you for the call, Bobby.
See ya.
Take care. Bye-bye.